Hello everybody, it's Jess here with Blessed Jess. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to sit down and talk to you about something that I get questions about every single day. And I figured if other people are asking questions, maybe you guys have a question, like this would answer your question too. So we're going to talk about it. I have been doing fasting or intermittent fasting consistently since January of this year. I have played around with it in the past, but this year I have been super consistent with intermittent fasting. And I've been sharing a lot of shorts over on my channel, 60 seconds or less videos where I show you guys what I'm eating after my fast. And the reason I've been sharing those is because I just find it super motivating. It helps me stay on track, and I like watching that kind of content. I like to see what people eat. I watch people that don't eat the same lifestyle. You know, they don't fast, but I just like to see, it's interesting to me. So I thought, you guys might like it too. And like I said, it really keeps me on track. And, anytime I can share something, it just really helps me. But anyway, so what I've been doing is 75% of the time, I'll say, is OMAD, which is 1 meal a day. And every time I tag something as OMAD or 1 meal a day, people get really, really upset. Really upset, and this is why. My 1 meal a day does not look like a typical meal. There's many reasons for that, but this question I get so much, well, you're not eating one. So let me just tell you an example. This is a typical day. Not every day looks like this. It all varies. I fast different lengths of time. I eat differently every single day. But generally, I may open up my fast. I always have my Plexus Slim. A lot of people drink these during their fast. It's personal preference. I like to do clean fasting. So I don't drink anything that's not black coffee, unsweet tea, or water. But I'll have my pink drink, which is 15 calories. It's sweetened with stevia. It's definitely not a meal, okay? But I'll have that. And then a little while later, while I'm cooking dinner, I may have a little snack, maybe some veggies with dip, maybe a handful of nuts and some cheese and some crackers, something like that while I'm cooking dinner. Then I'll sit down and I'll eat my meal. And then after that, I may have a dessert. Now, I've heard people say that those 4 things, the drink, the snack, the meal, and the dessert, that's 4 meals. People have told me that over and over. You're really eating 4 meals. It's all semantics. It is all semantics. I look at those 4 things as one big meal, and this is fine. If you go out to eat, especially in other countries, this is really popular, where they have long meals. Now, I will eat everything I just said in about 1 to 2 hours. You can go out to eat and have several courses in 1 to 2 hours. I look at that as a meal. I look at it as like a drink, an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. People get really hung up in the semantics of, well, that's more than 1 plate, so that's not that's more than 1 meal. It doesn't matter. It's all semantics. But why I look at it like this is because when you're doing 1 meal a day fasting, this isn't like a starvation diet. This isn't like I'm going to eat 500 calories a day from here until I lose my weight. And that's not what we're doing. I'm still eating a full day's worth of calories, just in a smaller window. But the fasting period, it kicks you into fat burning. It's a whole thing. I'm not going to go into it on this video, but that's why a lot of times it's helpful to break it up, because I just don't like to sit down and have a huge, you would have to eat a bunch, in just a short period of time. I like to break it up within 1 to 2 hours. I'll have a little snack. I'll have, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I'll just have an entree and a dessert, and people still get upset and say that's not a meal. Doesn't matter. It is very controversial, but that is why, that is what I do. And if you read Jen Stevens, she's always going to be one of my favorite resources for fasting. There are others like Jason Fung, Dr. Mindy Pell's I'm probably saying her name wrong, on YouTube. Those are actual doctors. Okay. They have amazing information. I love their videos. I watch their videos. But for someone who's just getting started, they will confuse you probably, because they're so scientific and they're so deep, and it can be hard to understand. Jen Stevens is a real person. She uses a lot of studies and stuff to back up her claims, but she puts it in layman's terms. And I don't know about you, but I need layman's terms. It really, really helps me to have like, okay, well, what does this actually mean? So if you want more information, I would definitely recommend her Fast, Feast, Repeat book. And this is exactly how she explains OMAD. And I feel like when I get the comments of like people saying, well, that's not really OMAD, they don't really understand fasting, because this is very, very common in the fasting community, this idea of a big coursed meal, because you're not eating all day, okay? Our American life, our American diet, you're eating all day. You're eating every hour or two. Just think about it, like your typical diet. You may wake up and have a coffee, and then a little while after that, you may, your office may bring in donuts, and you have a donut, and then you have lunch, and then after that, you have a meeting, and they may have, pastries and coffee, and then you have that, and then you have dinner, and then you snack after dinner. Like I've done that for years. And what happens is your body is just like releasing insulin all day long. And some people do fine eating that way, and they have a high metabolism and they never struggle with their weight. But for me, like eating like that just makes my blood sugar go up and down, up and down. I'm craving things like crazy. I feel miserable and tired all the time. And so if I can fast, it keeps my blood sugar low. It keeps my insulin low. I don't have cravings. I love eating this way because as opposed to eating like counting calories and Weight Watchers and stuff, I get to actually eat food I really enjoy. I don't have to eat like, bland, boring, low calorie food. And I've done that for years. And anytime I restrict food groups, you will get other people that tell you, you need to fast, but restrict food groups. That doesn't work for me. That does not work for me. Anytime I cut out food groups, and go so crazy as to like counting calories and all of that, it messes with my brain and it makes me just go off the rails. So you have to know yourself, but this is really working for me. And when I say one meal a day, I don't mean one plate a day. I think that's where people get confused. I don't mean one plate. If you go to Olive Garden and you have breadsticks, and then a few minutes after that, they bring you salad, and then a few minutes after that, they bring you your entree, and then maybe you go and have dessert. Would you say I went to Olive Garden and I had 4 meals? Of course not. You would say I went and had a meal at Olive Garden, or I went and had dinner at Olive Garden. And so it's all just semantics, but people really get upset about this. And so I don't know. I want to tag my videos as OMAD because fellow people who are following OMAD will understand and they'll find me. But every time I tag my videos as OMAD or one meal a day, people get so upset. So I'm going to have I've always had thick skin when it comes to this. I try to explain it in the comments. I've tried to explain it in the description box of my videos. And, some people are just going to critique you no matter what. So there's only so much you can do. But I thought if I got a lot of strangers who comment, and that's the people who watch the shorts, like they're not my regular people like you guys are watching this video. But I figured if strangers are commenting, maybe you guys would want to know more about it too. And maybe you've never heard of OMAD. I heard about it a few years ago, and I actually played around with it for just a few weeks back before I got pregnant with Mark. So it's been several years ago. Just wasn't in the right headspace to do it. But I always remembered, I just always had it in the back of my mind, like, I wonder if that would work. I actually listened to a podcast about it years and years ago. And I just thought it made a lot of sense how they were explaining it. And honestly, for me, not eating all day is easier than trying to restrict all day. Does that make sense? When I restrict, I go crazy. What I also love about intermittent fasting is I'm never off plan. I've heard people say like, I fell off intermittent fasting and I get what they mean, but you can't really, because there's always a day. There's always a time in the day that you're not eating. Like when you're asleep, you're fasting. You're an intermittent faster when you're asleep. You may have times where you don't fast as long as you would like, and that's definitely happened to me, but It's not like when you're doing keto, okay? When you're doing keto, you have to eat keto all the time. And if you start eating food that has carbs in it, you kind of screw up yourself and you have to go back through ketosis and all of this. It's not like that with intermittent fasting. If I have a day, like say I have company coming in and we're going to be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a few days, and I want to enjoy that time with my family, I can do that. I can have shorter eating windows. And then when they go home or when things are more convenient, I will pick it up and do, longer fast. And that's what I love. It's just really flexible. I've also got past, like most people, like even when we have family over, I still will usually fast breakfast, sometimes even lunch. Most people don't even notice if you're not eating. It's really not a big deal. I've never been a breakfast eater, so it's not abnormal for me to skip breakfast anyway. And for so long, we were told, like, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But my whole thing is like, why would you eat if you're not hungry? If you're not hungry, then why would you eat? And break fast is you're breaking your fast every night. We all fast. Even in the Bible, it tells us to fast. And I really like doing fasting for spiritual reasons too. It helps me stop focusing on food and actually focus on God and my prayer life and other things, my family more. I just find it interesting that the Bible never says count calories. It doesn't say join Weight Watchers. It does say to fast. And I think there is an important benefit to our body when we fast. So I don't know if any of this is making sense. If you are confused, Jen Stevens' Fast, Feast, Repeat is my #1 recommendation. You can also find lots of information on YouTube, Dr. Jason Fung, like I said. I really like Intermittent Fasting Foodie. That's Jackie. She's also a real person. She eats real food. She shows all the time what she eats on her she does shorts, but she also does videos. I really, really like her. She has lost all the weight, kept it off. She looks amazing. And she's also someone that I really like her channel because she's just a real person. She's not trying to make things like, I'm only going to eat like this type of food or that type of food, because I don't find that sustainable for me. And I don't find that sustainable for most people. If you say, I am never going to have ice cream again for the rest of my life, that's really hard. But I can say, I'm going to wait and have my ice cream during my eating window. And for me, that delayed gratification, it still is fulfilling my cravings, but I'm able to fit it into this lifestyle. So I also would recommend, if you're wanting to start out intermittent fasting, don't change everything at once and don't jump into an OMAD. What I did is I started fasting, but I didn't fast these long fasts. I would do like 16-8 is a really great way to start. That's 8 hours of eating and 16 hours of fasting. I feel like anyone could do that. That's 8 hours of eating is a lot. I could never do that as a lifestyle because I could eat a lot in 8 hours. And then once you get really comfortable doing 16-8, move to a 18-6 and then move to a 24. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll get. Another tip for you, this didn't mean to turn into a tip video, but if you're interested in intermittent fasting, realizing hunger is not the end of the world. That's how I used to feel. If I'm hungry, oh no, the end of the world is upon us. Like, must eat food now. It's an emergency. You guys, hunger is caused by a hormone called ghrelin. And the most interesting thing is ghrelin is produced by the body, but it's not like continually produced. It releases ghrelin. You feel hungry. If you eat, that goes away. If you don't eat, it will go away. It comes in waves. So a lot of times I'll feel hungry. I'll wait a little while. I won't feel hungry. And it's interesting because you would think as you fast, you would just get hungrier and hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. It's not like that. Like, yes, I will feel hungry every now and then throughout the day. My body's really used to fasting now, but especially at the beginning, I would feel hungry. But if I would just wait like 5, 10, sometimes 30 minutes it would take, that hunger passes. And once your body stops yelling for you to go eat, that's what it's doing when it's releasing hunger. Go eat something. We're out of blood sugar. We're out, our blood sugar's low. Go eat something. We're out of like this glucose. And once it starts tapping into your fat stores, that's what we want the body to do. We want it to stop eating what we're feeding it and go after like the food we've already eaten that's now turned to fat. And that's what fasting does. It taps into your body stored fat. And that's what we want for weight loss. So it never makes sense. Your body is so smart. It never makes sense to go on these really restrictive calorie diets, because what happens a lot of times is your body just gets used to eating these low calorie diets. You know, it learns how to live on 800 calories a day. But if you stop eating, it will find your fat stores. But again, that's why I don't limit myself to one plate of food. I'm not in a starvation diet here. I'm eating my calories. So my body is used to having food coming in. But then during the day, it goes after the stored fat. I hope this makes sense. Jen explains it way better. Dr. Jason Fung explains it way better. But this is just Jess version, 2.0. I don't know. But I am loving it. Everybody wants to know how much weight I've lost, and that's a fair question. I have lost over 20 pounds. I don't weigh every single day. And that weight has honestly stayed the same pretty much all summer, because I've had times where I've enjoyed going to Disney World. I just ate what I wanted and didn't worry about it. We've had several different trips during the summer. But I can tell, even though my weight has kind of stayed the same over the summer, I've lost inches. I'm wearing clothes that I couldn't wear at this weight before. And so I'm not in a huge rush to just lose weight as fast as I can. And I understand that this is a journey, and, I didn't get overweight in a day. I've been overweight my whole adult life. And so I want to do this in a really sustainable way that I can live with. And honestly, I can fast every single day. I feel so good when I do it. I feel so energized. I have like so much more mental clarity. I get so much more work done when I do it. And so, anyway, that's a little fasting explanation. But if you guys like the shorts and you want me to keep doing them, let me know. I'm always like torn on whether to film or not, but it does really help me. And if you guys like them, I will definitely start, keep filming them. But sometimes I wonder if my regular viewers are watching them, or if it's just a bunch of random people, which I'm fine with too. But I really want to do stuff that you guys like, because you're the ones that's supporting me every single day by watching my videos. So let me know if you have any questions on intermittent fasting. Put them in the comments. I may not know the answer to them, but I might could steer you in the right direction, or maybe we could talk about them, or maybe it'd be something interesting for me to learn. My doctor does know I'm doing intermittent fasting. I also get that question a lot. And, definitely talk to your doctor about it. It is a newer concept. And so, you need to be careful though. Like if you have diabetes, diabetics can fast. They just have to be careful. Dr. Jason Fung is a nephrologist, and his patients are diabetics, and he has them fast, and he has just amazing results of people like being cured of diabetes. It's amazing. But you definitely need to consult your doctor before you try anything new. And yeah, that is going to be it for today. If you like the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and subscribe if you're new. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, 'cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like